up? So today we're going to talk about how do you find cash buyers for your contracts. And everybody seems to think that's the hardest part of the whole process when it comes to flipping contracts or wholesaling houses, but it's not. If your numbers are right, finding a buyer is always the easy part of the whole process. The only time you can't find a buyer is because you've really screwed up your numbers. Your repairs are off. You went with the highest comps instead of the lowest comps. That's a big no-no. So we're going to cover where do you find cash buyers and what do you say to cash buyers once you find them. So first place I always look for cash buyers is local Facebook investor groups. And when I say local, that means within your market of wherever your contract's at. If you're in Middle Tennessee, there's a group in Middle Tennessee called Middle Tennessee Wholesalers and Investors. They have cash buyers in it. It's a small group, 1,000, 2,000 people. That's what you're looking for. Little groups like that. If you're in Florida and you have one in Jacksonville, you're looking for Jacksonville investors, Jacksonville wholesale groups, little groups in Jacksonville. What you don't want to do, and where most people screw up, is they go to these Facebook groups called cash buyer investors or off-market properties or wholesalers, whatever. The groups that have 50, 60,000, 100,000 members in it, they're across the whole country. You're not going to find a cash buyer in that group. That's literally a group full of wholesalers or wannabe wholesalers. That's not where you find cash buyers. I've never told people to ever find cash buyers there. So people just don't listen to the words that come out of my mouth most of the time. The next place you can find cash buyers, local realtors. Believe it or not, you got to find some that's investor friendly. Now, not every realtor is going to know what wholesaling is, and not every realtor is going to like a wholesaler. There is a few though. In every market, there's a realtor who knows what you're doing. They may have a cash buyer who buys distressed properties. You need to reach out and see if they have somebody. There's how you compensate them is up to you guys. Most of the time, you just pay them their 3% commission off the purchase price, not the assignment price, the purchase price. Sometimes it's more of a JV where you can give them 50-50. It just depends on what kind of deal you guys work out. But you can utilize realtors pretty good. The next place you can find cash buyers is local RIA meetups. Usually they have them once a month. I've never had luck with that. I know people who have, but when I tried it when I first started, it went over like a lead balloon with me. So you can try the local REI meetups. You may have some better luck than what I've had. I know people who do that and they find lots of cash buyers and it works great. So there's that. Craigslist. A couple ways to do it. Now, if you go to Craigslist and you type in "we buy houses," 9 times out of 10, that's going to be wholesalers. Now, not every time, but most of the time, that's going to be a wholesaler just trying to get leads. What I recommend is when I say Craigslist, you go to the rental properties and you start clicking on rental houses. And you just reach out to the landlord and say, "Hey, I have a property under contract that needs some work. I see you have a rental. Are you actively looking for more properties that you can fix and flip and use as rentals or to just fix and flip in general?" They're either going to say yes, no, or F you, whatever they're going to say. But I found cash buyers by doing that. So landlords is a good way to find cash buyer investors as well. About the last resource that I know of, and it's the quick and easy way if you have funds, is you just go buy a cash buyers list. What I mean by that is places like Next Level Data, and I'll show you on their site how you can do it. You can go in, put in your market where you're looking, and they pull data of people who's bought houses for cash. Like, it is public data. The list they give you is actual cash buyers. They have purchased properties with cash, and it is known. That's the cheating way of how to just bypass everything. Buy a cash buyers list from them. This is how you buy a cash buyers list on Next Level Data. And there's the website. It's without the E, nxtleveldata.com. Click on cash buyers list. It'll bring up the form. There's the pricing. You want to put your name, your number, your email, what cities and state, because that's what they pull it by. Cities and state. You can buy at least 100. You hit I agree, and you hit checkout. You'll get your list in 24 to 48 hours. You can then upload it to like a text blast, like LaunchControl, or whatever, text magic. You can text blast the list and say, hey, my local wholesaler has a property under contract. I was wondering if you're still looking for any investment properties. And then you'll get replies. You can also do an email blast. That, the response rate of email blasts is very low because most of it ends up in spam, or investors just don't check their email and look at every email all the time. And the other way is just cold call them. Say, hey, I'm a local wholesaler in the area. I get lots of leads and properties. I'm looking to always add to my cash buyers list. Are you actively looking for places in these zip codes? And then you can also ask them if they say, yeah, you can get their criteria. And it's like reverse wholesaling. You know what they're looking for, and you go out and try to find leads that match their criteria. I've never done that because to me that just seems like a lot of work to try to. I feel like you're passing up good leads to try to find leads just for that cash buyer. So I recommend just taking all leads, and if you get the numbers right, you're going to have a cash buyer for that deal regardless. So that's the ways to find cash buyers. But at the end of the day, if your numbers are straight up doo-doo, you're not going to find a cash buyer. I mean, it don't matter what you do, you're just not going to find one. What I do recommend is when you get deals, after 3 to 7 days, if you've had cash buyers look at it and then not take it, reach back out and get feedback. Like, hey, I know you looked at the property. Can you just give me some feedback why you wasn't interested? Repairs worse than what I told you. Was my numbers off on comps? Get feedback so one, you can figure out where you screwed up and fix it for future deals. 2, so you know what they're thinking and if they will throw you an offer, because if they will throw you an offer, you can go back to the seller and renegotiate and try to get the number down below what they offer you, and for you to still make an assignment. You can't just be scared and not speak to the cash buyers. So asking for feedback is going to save you a lot of headache in the long run. So I hope this helped. Hope it clarified on the cash buyer ordeal, how you find them, how to make sure that you do get a cash buyer from your deal, what to do if you can't find a cash buyer, none of your cash buyers take your deal. So it should answer pretty much all the questions that I get asked a bunch if you actually watch this whole video. So appreciate your time, and I will make another video here in a few days covering more new beginner questions.